Hey everybody, it's Lance the Lush. Now we're back today in the laboratory, i.e. my kitchen. And we're home brewing with the Lush. Now, I'm calling this brew a Gettho American Pale Ale, if I wrote it down correctly. Now, I'm going to do what I normally do, because I haven't done a brew day in a while. Show you exactly what I'm going to use. Now, right now, I'm going to show you how to do this on a budget and very, very quote-unquote ghetto. Now, right now, I'm waiting for my water to get up to 155 degrees. What we're going to do today is called a partial mash. And what we're going to do with that is I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. And we're going to go from there. Right now, I'm getting my primary one set up now. And I'm going to set up a secondary pot and show you exactly what we're going to go to next. Now, if you watched my video from earlier, this is the stuff I'll be using. We have light. No, can't even speak today. Bright light golden liquid extract, which is light gold. We have local hops here. We have local Cascade hops. We have Eldorado. We have German Pearl, my yeast, which is a liquid yeast, and maltodextrin. And as we go farther along, I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to do, how I'm going to do it, and we will go from there, and we're going to have some fun. So stay tuned. All right, we're back in my very first step. Now, like I said, we're doing partial mashing. So what I'm going to do is I had to get my stove here to right around 155 degrees. Now, keep in mind, this is an electric stove. So I really can't control heat like I really want to, and I can't stand that. But right now, it's about 165. I'm trying to get the drop back down. And that's something to keep in mind, too, especially somebody like me who's in an apartment. I mean, something like this is going to be problematic. It always will be. As I set the alarm, which I always do that when I use this stove. I hate that. But the temperature is starting to go back down, so we'll be good there. Now, the instructions call for the way I'm making it. This is an American Pale. It is an American 2-row hop. I left it down in the bag because it made a big mess. Now, it says the mash is called mashing in. It says mashing in 155 degrees, and I will go, it's coming back down now like 158. It says keep it in for 75 minutes. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. And I started, so you know, with 2.5 gallons of water. I kept it there, and I want to make sure there's enough water to inundate it. So we're going to go ahead and put it in. And it should be enough. Now, pro tip here, so you ain't chasing for the bottom, chasing for the bag itself. I would do this. I would tie it off. Just so to make sure you're not chasing for it at the end. At the end, and it's starting to smell really good already. It really is. And this one here I kind of screwed up, but that's okay. Same thing for this one. Now we'll come back in about 75 minutes. We'll take a look where we're at. And we'll show you the next step. But I want to show you this, because I'm going straight to the process, Lush fans. And what I'm going to do here, we'll let those soak up. It's starting to smell really good now. I'm going to show you the next step and what I'm going to do, and we will go from there. Hey Lush fans, it's Lance Lush back here for a moment. Now I wanted to show you a couple of things that's actually very important. Now I'm going to pull this off the burner for a moment. Now the first things first, if I get into the shot here, as you can tell, I'm having really big issues with heat, and a lot of that's because it's an electric stove, so I can't regulate heat, but that's okay. So I've been monitoring it. I'm about halfway through this grain mashing, but I wanted to show you this. I wanted to show you the nice color, golden color it's giving me right now, and it smells so good. It really does. We're about halfway through. I apologize for that, but I wanted to show you that, let everybody know what was going on. And we're going to go to our next step, and that is called sparging, and I will join you then. All right, Lush fans, we are back. I did my mash. It's time for what we call a mash out. Or mash. Yeah, mash out. It's already mashed in. So what we're going to do is I mashed this. I mashed this about an hour and 20 minutes or so as per the instructions if I read it right. So what we're going to do is, now I set up a second pot. Here's the reason why. I boiled water up to 170 degrees. There's a reason why I did this. Now it's called the next step. Now this next step is called sparging. What it does is it releases any left sugars in the grain to where it goes right in the brew, so you can actually go ahead and brew it. So what we're going to do is, I got to rearrange some stuff here. I'm going to take this off the heat for a moment. And now the first thing I'm going to do, put this right over here for a moment. I got to get everything set up. So what we're going to do is, I have this here. This is a strainer and a big one at that. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to untie our hop socks. If I can get it untied. Make sure you, I can't speak today. Make sure that you have a good grip on them, because you got to do this in like one strange motion. Go ahead and lift them up here. And you're going to make a little bit of a mess here. It's just totally understanding. You're going to sit here and let this drain for a minute. Now, I do want to talk about something. This is a huge controversy with homebrewers. Do you press on the bag or don't you press on the bag? It's like Mr. Whipple and the old Charmin commercials back in the 80s. When they say, don't squeeze the Charmin. Pretty much same thing. You know? So, I'm just letting it drain right now. Now, I'm gonna squeeze it. I'm gonna push down on it a little bit. Because you gotta let it drain. That's for sure. Uh-oh. And make sure things don't go flying all over the place when you do this. Don't be this lush. And the worst thing about it is I've only had one beer all day long. So no, it's not that. And it smells so, so good in here, Lush fans, right now. That's the one thing. If you can be a cook, you can do this. You really, really can. I drain this here. And now on to the next step, which is going to be what we call sparging. Now, basically, from a cooking standpoint, sparging is basically this. It's like when you rinse pasta after you boil it, you rinse all the yeast out. The exact same concept. You're doing it backwards, you're just putting it back in. Same thing. So what we're going to do, make some space here. Make sure this is off, which it is. And this is actually my primary brew pot. I just got it a couple days ago. It'll be my secondary. We're going to do this. Now, Lush fans, I do not recommend doing it this way, but I'm going to do it this way just to show you. I'm going to put it, actually, no, I can't. I was going to put it on the floor, and I can't, and that's all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to figure out which way I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn it this way. And there's not enough space here on the stove, as you can see. So we're going to go over here to the sink. Go right to the sink. And what we're going to do is, pretty much just like pasta, but using hot water instead of cold water. You're going to spread it around. Make sure all the spent grains are in there. And this is totally safe. What happened is, since you're releasing anything else that was in there, you're going to be fine. And it does add volume to your brew, excuse me. And that's basically how it's done. Now, the next step here, I'm going to let this drain. What I'm going to do is now we got to add volume back to the batch. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get this up to probably 3.5, 4 gallons or so. I'm going to start adding the rest of our stuff in, show you how that's done. We'll go from there. And now stay tuned, because this is where it gets interesting. Because this is going to take a while. I'm going to show you exactly what you have to do. We are back, Lush fans. Now we're on to our next step. Now, here's what I do. This is a pro tip from me. Now, in my particular setup, my apartment is so small, I decided to keep the grain here momentarily. Use the pot that I was boiling the water in for the sparging, use to continue to drain out all the drain all the water out of it. And I know it's going to take a while. What I'm going to do is add it back into the batch at the end. But I haven't had a beer yet, so we're going to talk about that. What we're going to do is I got to bring my boil volume back up. Now, the instructions say 3 gallons, so I'm going to go with that. So what we're going to do is, so I have my trusty water here, we're going to bring it up to 3 gallons. We bring that up. There's 1 bottle, or one gallon, excuse me. We're getting there. It doesn't look like much now, but it will clear out, hopefully. What I'm going to do is, I add some volume to this. Here we're right at the 3 gallon. Let me put a little bit more in here just in case. Because you're going to have some you're going to have some evaporation, excuse me, obviously, because, it's water. It's going to evaporate. So what we're going to do is now, we're going to bring this to a boil. Just to see just so I can start adding, I can add my light Pilsen in. And we'll go from there, see how this goes. So we're getting there, Lush fans. We really, really are. Now, I do want to talk to you for a few moments while I'm waiting for this. Pull up a chair here. My trusty chair. You're probably wondering, why am I doing all this? Why am I showing all this? Well, a question popped up, and it popped up in my head, and this is one of those questions to where I kept thinking about it since I had my interview with Rick Armin over at the Beacon Journal. And we were talking about why aren't there many black craft breweries out there? But it was more of an offshoot of a question. I'm seeing people homebrew, on the website, on YouTube, whatever, right? Honestly, and I looked too, and maybe I overlooked it, I have not seen one black American actually homebrew on YouTube, at least do a session of it. Like, there's people out there running it live. I tried to do it live, my webcam just wasn't going to handle it, and I'm good with that. But it's I'm using camera 1, my mobile. Actually, not even camera 1, it's camera 2, which is the mobile camera on this. And I'm thinking to myself, am I the only person on YouTube doing this? But I'm doing this because I'm showing you to do it in the inner city way. And also, now granted, the initial cost is going to be up there. You're going to be in a whole $300 from jump. I'm not going to lie. And that's not including how you decide to do it at the start. The cheapest extract kit I've got is $23. So it takes a little bit of time. Now I'm going to tell you this. You're probably saying, oh, this is too expensive, this and that. I'm talking about people in the inner city. And specifically black Americans. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this one time. If you're willing to spend $300 on a good barrel grill, you're going to spend $300 to homebrew. And you're going to spend $300 to make a big-ass barbecue, you're going to spend $300 to homebrew. Yes, there's time involved. I understand that. But I knew that going in. But it's the same personal satisfaction you're going to get. The exact same thing. So keep that in mind. Well, Lush fans, I'm going to get off here as I wait for this to boil. We're almost getting there. I can see here looking at my thermometer. I don't know why that went down. I got to check that. It went way down, so I got to check this. We'll join you back once again, and we'll start adding ingredients. Excuse me. So stay tuned. Well, Lush fans, we are back. Now, the water is just getting up to a boil. Now, I prefer to do that before I start adding some major stuff because it's just me. Now, everybody has their own style, so keep that in mind. Now, what we're going to add is our Golden Light Pure Malt Extract. Now, I'm going to talk about this first. I could have put liquid extract and powdered extract in this, and I chose not to, or even corn syrup. And I chose not to because since I'm partial mashing, I wanted to see the difference in that. So this is more of the experiment. When I'm doing this is going to be the quote-unquote control batch, so keep that in mind. But we're going to add 2 items here. We're going to add the liquid extract, light liquid extract, and we're adding the maltodextrin. Okay, now this is non-fermentable. Now, why am I adding this? It actually supposed to get better head retention and make all the snide jokes you want on that one, Lush fans. I'm not going to go there, but we're going to get started here. Now, with this being a plastic bottle, I should have put it in warm water first, but that's okay because, excuse me, it's going directly in as soon as I get the stupid seal off. I hate that sometimes, Lush fans. And don't worry, yes, we're doing this on a budget in the ghetto, so you should be alright there as I get this off. And it's all ooey and gooey and yummy. Actually, I don't recommend eating this straight. Nobody does. And my trash can is actually directly behind the camera. So we're going to hold off on that for a moment. We're going to put this in the sink. Like I said, ooey and gooey and syrupy and yummy, yummy, yummy. We're going to put that there. We're going to go ahead and put this in now. And it pours really, really, really slow, Lush fans. And that's why I try to at least heat it up just a smidge. Just to make sure. And it does bring your volume up because it's so thick. Grab my trusty spoon here. And yes, I know this is not the right spoon. I know that, but you take what you can get. Now with this, you're supposed to bring it to a roaring boil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to check this. This thing is still pouring and pouring and pouring. Put that there for a second. So what you're going to try to do is try to get as much out as you can. And what I need is a one of those plastic spatulas. No, those cooking spatulas just dedicated this. And being an electric stove, this alarm always goes off. Always goes off. And I hate that. But this is probably one of the slowest times outside of the brew part is this. Putting this in, trying to get all of it out. And now Craig Tube, since he uses a different company than I do, I can't get the name of it all of a sudden. They'll probably watch this and correct me. I'm pretty sure he heats his up just a smidge. I didn't mean to do that. Heats his up just a smidge. But being plastic, I just throw in some warm water for 15 minutes. Make sure I don't get any plasticky stuff in it. Put that there for a moment. We're going to put our Dextern in. Now, talking to other homebrewers, not talking to other homebrewers, I take that back. Reading the forums, they said you can put it in here, which I'm going to do here. You can do all of the bottling. It's totally up to you. But everybody has his own style. So what we're going to do is, I get this bag open. Yes, Lush fans, I don't feel like getting a pair of scissors. Actually, I might have to go get a pair of scissors. So, we're going to do this. Ah! As I just make a mess. Sometimes it's using your hands, and us popular cooks know that. Sometimes you just got to get them dirty, you know. Chuck that in. Now, it calls for being in a boil for 45 minutes, so obviously you got to take it, watch it, monitor it, things like that. So we're going to do that, and I'm just making a big old mess. What we're going to do is, in about 45 minutes, I'm going to add my White Walk tablets, or Irish moss. This is just a commercial version of it. Stir this up, and it's smelling so good right now. We'll come back and check, and we will continue this exercise So stay tuned. We are back, Lush fans. Now we're about 15 minutes left in this brew. And what we're going to do is now we're going to add our hops. Now we're going to start here. We're going to start with the German peel. We'll add those in right there. And these are, and I want pellets because a lot of it is, and there's still some stuck in there. And a lot of it has to do with this. I don't have a grain mill, so I have to do it this way, at least for now. Now, if you want to donate, different story. Now, this one here is El Dorado. It's straight El Dorado hops. Now, this third one, I was actually on the fence when that was Cascade. Cascade is really known for being a really hoppy, right? Now, but you know what? I decided to use it because this is a control batch. Now, this is from Second Sons Hop Yards. They're located in Canton, Ohio, so they're local here. Now, I need to get some more information on them, what they do and how they do it. Because their webpage is vague, but I know they're getting there, but that's okay. So we're going to put those in there. Now, the instructions call for 15 minutes worth of, 15 minutes worth of boil. Oh, yeah, you can smell the hops in that Cascade come out. Wow. Maybe I should have made an IPA instead. Maybe I should have been planning. I should have made an IPA. Go ahead and stir this here. It says for 15 minutes. What I'll do is, after that, when I'll get about 5 minutes away, I'll add my Wyoff tablet, which is basically Irish moss. And we'll go from there and show you exactly what I'm going to do exactly after that. But this small apartment homebrewing is going along just fine. So stay tuned. There's more that's going to happen. Test 1, test 2. There we are. All right, we're back. And we're about to go right now. Hey, Lush fans, we're back. We're almost done. Believe it or not. I do one more thing. I had to add these things here, Wyoff tablets, which are pretty much processed Irish moss. Now, what I'm going to do is I let this boil actually a little bit longer than I intended. What I'm going to do is, you're supposed to add it 15 minutes for the end of the boil, so I'm going to go boil a little longer than normal. But I put my tablet in. Now, some people say 1 tablet, 2 tablets. I'm putting 2 in. So keep that in mind. Put those right there for a moment so you know exactly where they're at. We'll let that boil down for 10 minutes. Excuse me, 10 minutes or so. We'll go from there. And we're on to the final step. And that will be cooling it down, put it in the primary fermenter, and we're going to start from there and show you exactly what I got to do. Hey everybody, Lance the Lush is back. We're all done with brewing. Now I gotta cool this bad boy down to pitch the yeast. Now, Lush fans, the yeast is actually done. It's been done for a while. I just haven't cut it open yet. It's one of those ones to where we're getting to that point now. So what we're gonna do is, this is where the Gettho DIY comes in. As you see, this is a bag of ice. Now, it's going to take a while, and I understand that. So what we're going to do, we're going to set this bad boy up. We're going to get this thing cooled down as quickly as possible. And the process is called cold crashing. And we're going to see how this works. So what I normally do is, because all honesty, Lush fans, I don't have a wort chiller. So I have to do it this way. And it's getting cold outside. But the thing is, I don't trust my neighbors. I really, really don't. We put it in there like so. Put you there for a second. And what we're going to do is, we're going to take this big old 3-gallon pot, and this thing is heavy. Just drop it right in, right? And what we're going to do after that, move some stuff around here. Put you there for a second. What we're going to do after that, and I forgot to totally do this, and I apologize, Lush fans. we're going to do this. I'll clean you here in a minute. What we're going to do is we're going to take this. This is our spit grain that we had earlier. Now, I made a mistake not buying any peanut butter or anything like that because I was going to make doggy treats. I really, really was. Because I know a special little one, a block from me, who would love it. However, with that being said, when we come here, what I normally do is I just straight put the ice right around the bag. Now, I didn't crush this ice up enough, Lush fans. I apologize for that. Put this over here. And now, with this being done, I get to play the waiting game. Now, normally, and I need to put the thermometer back in. This is one of those situations to where, you know what? This is going to take a while. And I already know it's going to. Now, right now, it says it's 100, and as this dial goes way up, way fast, it's at 193 degrees. 193 degrees. Now, to pitch this yeast, I need to get around at the 60 to 75 range. So this usually takes a couple of hours. So we're getting late into the night. I'll probably be done about 11 o'clock tonight, but that's okay because there's a lot of stuff going on. So stay tuned for that next edition, or the next segment, excuse me. I'm going to show you exactly what I bought, if you didn't watch the video yet, and exactly how I'm going to do it, so stay tuned. Well, Lush fans, we are in this final stretch. It's at 10 o'clock at night. I start at 4 o'clock, so the brewing process really took me right around 6 hours. And what took me the longest more than anything else was the cooling down of the wort. That's what took me so long. Now, I look at this now. I go out of the shot here a little bit. I'm right at about 76 degrees. So I'm right at that borderline to where, you know, I won't kill the yeast. Now, I did cheat. I did put it in an ice bath. What I also did was I took it outside, because outside right now is like 35 degrees. Now, one thing I am going to do first, and I apologize for this, I should have checked the initial gravity. Now, what you see here is an hydrometer. So I should have did that first, just to see where I sat. And we're going to do that right now. And I should have checked originally what the target should be for the initial gravity. Let me do one more thing. And don't worry, Lush fans. I have a plan with this. Put a little bit more in there. Now, looking at this, my initial gravity, let's see if I can find it here, is showing me I got barley wine. Which is fine. Let me see, my eyes are deceiving me right now. Let me see here. My initial gravity is high. Very high. It's 1.072. And I need to be around that 1.5 range. So I'm hoping it will go down as I go in my first ferment. And I'll find out there. I think a lot of it is too because it's still warm. Close this here. Now, I wanted to show off this new item. This is the Fermentosaurus. Now, you really can't see it here, but I wanted a fast fermenter. But this is more like me doing it on the cheap. So this is something to where I don't know if it's going to work or not. So you're about to see it in action. Now, there's other videos out there that actually show what it does. I'm a little bit different. I'm going to do it in a week from now. As far as if I can remember, I am going to see what the progress is. Now, the first thing that do scare me is that gravity of 1.72. It really, really, really does. And I hope it settles down to a point to where it'll be fine. Now I'm looking here real fast. Well, it would, well, okay, we're down to 1.70. So hopefully we'll get a little bit lower than that. I just think it's just more heat related more than anything else. Now here's what I'm going to do. I am going to put you, the capper and all that good stuff, over here for the moment. Now I got my little thingy. I can't even name it all of a sudden. My little auto siphon. Yeah, I think the name of it's called an auto siphon. Go figure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up this heavy thing, put it over here on this. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a drink of alcoholic beverage. That is good. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to spray this down with my sanitizer. Now I'm using Easy Clean, and that's my preferred method for right now. I actually like using it because this is in powdered form. And we're going to take that, we're going to rinse this here. And yes, I know I shouldn't be using regular water. I should be fine. Sarzan, you can put in just about anything, you'll be fine. But that's okay. And what we're going to do is, as the name implies, we are going to auto siphon. Well, they call it an auto siphon, but I still got to siphon it, and that's okay. I'm going to step around to this side here so everybody can see me. You know, Lush fans, I'm actually excited and worried about this one at the same time. I really, really am, because I really don't know how this is going to turn out. I really, really don't. And I got, oh shit. As I put it all over the place. Sorry, Lush fans. That happens sometimes. I need to buy one of those electronic siphons. I'm going to clean it up after this video. I apologize. I guess I'm going to have to keep pumping. I don't know how these people online do it with the auto siphons. I really, really, really don't. But we're going to soldier on. I got to be careful not to disturb anything at the bottom, which I totally understand. And we have a plan here, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm going to do after this, now I'm at 3 gallons now. And that's okay, because at the moment I'm not filtering anything, even though I really need to filter this. I really, really, really do. Actually, you know what? Let's filter this. Let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. And now I'm looking for it, I already know I'm not going to find it. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, here's what we're going to do. This is my ferment, my screen. This is actually the bouncer filter, right? I bought this about a month ago, and it did its job. Let me try rinsing that out first. Just to make sure. And yes, once again, I know it's city water, but bear with me. Let's see how much nonsense this pulls out. So first things first, we're going to put this on here, and hopefully it doesn't go anywhere. Then we're going to put the other end on this. Now, I pretty much know that I shouldn't be doing it this way, but like I said earlier in this video, this is more of a control batch. So we're going to, uh-oh, wrong one. So we're going to see how good or how bad this is. So we're going to find out right now. And this is a long process, Lush fans. It really is. This is the one thing I don't like about... This is the one thing I don't like about homebrewing, is this right here. Now, I need to go out and get one of those mechanical siphons. I just have not done it yet. And I completely and totally apologize for that. And I'm looking at this here, and you really can't see it. It is kind of filtering it a little bit, but like in this stage of the process, I really need to do that the primary fermenting. I really do. But it's going down like quick. It really is. And I notice now it's going to get real tough to go through. Like right there, for instance, I know right now this filter is clogged. So what we're going to do is, if I can get it back open, we're going to take this off. We are going to, and this shows how the bouncer filter works. It's getting to a point to where I can't, let me back up a little bit. I can't siphon anymore. So we're going to take this out. And I wanted to show you this right here. This shows you right here that the bouncer filter works. And it works very, very, very well. So what we're going to do is we're going to rinse this. Or try to rinse this. And a lot of that is due to the hops, the pellet hops, and we got the and I know I got some leftover from when I did that partial mashing. So the filter does work. They need to give me a commission on this. Them boys over at Bouncer, and they're Firestone High School grads. So they owe me and owe me big. So we fill this up now. The one thing is I want a clean beer, Lush fans. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's 3 gallons in here. Probably about 3.5 gallons, right? So let's see how clean this gets. And it got jammed up again. I noticed it got jammed up again, Lush fans. So what we're going to do is, I knew this was going to be a process, and I apologize for that. Put that there for a moment. Yep, it jammed up once again. So kudos to the people over at Bouncer down in North Carolina. Their product does work. I probably need to use warm water, not cold water. But that's alright. And city water absolutely sucks. It really, really, really does. But that's alright. And that's about all I'm getting. Wow. I probably have about 2 cups or so left in there. But that's alright. It tells me right here, this I know I'm in trouble, Lush fans. I'm looking at this here. I don't know if you can, well, let me get into the right shot. Let me apologize for that. There's probably 2 gallons in there right now, right? Looking from, well, about 1.5 gallons. So I know I'm in trouble. So here's what I did. Got some water. Some straight water out, straight spring water, right? I'm going to have to up this. I'm going to have to up this count, right? It was showing me 3, about 2.5. There's 3.5. Let me open this bad boy up. On this one here. I should put some warm water in there. That's all right. That probably cooled it down probably into the 60-degree range. And I wish, and the one thing about this firmware source I don't like, it don't give me a level on here somewhere. It really, really, really doesn't. And I really wish it did. Gonna be a whole lot. Oh, snap. Uh-oh. Let me see here. Sorry, Lush fans. Sorry, Lush fans. That happens sometimes. I totally ran out of line on that one. I ran out of line. Hey, it happens. I should have stepped around this way, Lush fans, and did it like this. But I stepped the wrong way, and that's what happens. And let me make sure there is no markings on here for 5 gallons. That's the one thing I don't like about this. But that should be more than enough. That should be more than 5 gallons on this firmware source. Now, we got to do one last thing. The yeast. This is Y Yeast 2007 XL. This is specifically designed for what I'm doing. And hopefully this works out. I sanitize the top here to make sure we're all nice and good. And I need a pair of scissors. And what we're going to do, we're going to cut part of it open. Oh yeah, you got that smell of yeast in there. And what this is called pitching yeast. Now, there's powdered yeast, there's liquid yeast. I prefer to use liquid. That's just for personal reasons. What we're going to do is we're going to pitch the yeast. Okay, so that's done. Put this right here for a moment. And we're going to put the lid back on. That's the very last thing we got to do. Hopefully I can get this lid back on. Well, not the very last thing I have to do, Lush fans. One more thing I got to do. I got to release the bottom. For right now. And what I'll do is later on in the week, once this thing is fermenting, I'll know exactly how much yeast is in there, so I'll let it drop so we know. And that's how it's going to work. Well, Lush fans, I thank you for watching Brewing with the Lush in my laboratory. I thank you for watching. Be careful from your fitteroo, and stay tuned for the next update on this homebrew. from Lance the Lush.